Hey, this is Notser, and we're talking British destroyers. Wargaming Teased tier 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, we'll get 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, just do 7, 8, 9. Don't do 10. But regardless, hopefully we get to see the rest. So I'm just going to talk about it, general idea of what I'm seeing, traits. You know, people want to say gimmick, but they are traits. The single launch torpedo is a trait of all British ships so far, and it will continue forward with the British destroyers. Single launch torpedoes are really only useful against something like an approaching battleship or a cruiser that's gone nose on or bow on, and you want to really maximize the hits on the target. You're not going to use single launch all that frequently if you're in a DD versus DD scenario, but it's nice that it's there. Nobody's going to really use widespread except for maybe like point blank and you're trying to spread it out. Usually, 99% of spreads are narrow and single. Single is even, I think single is used way more than wide, even though it's only attached to the British cruiser line. So that's the first trait. The second trait that you will notice is that the British smoke is not super long duration or super short. The trait that is unique is the radius. It's much larger by default than any other DD in the game. Pretty much anything other than the British cruiser line. The British cruiser have the same radius. So keep that in mind. It's nice. It's absolutely nice. It'll be harder to find you in your smoke. And the reason I say that is the surface detectability of British DDs is probably the best in the game, or second best. Very close to the best. At tier 2 we have 5.4 base. So consider you're using your camouflage. You get it down to like 5.2. Maybe you invest in a concealment commander. You get that down even more to 4 something. That gives you almost 2 kilometers worth of range to use your default torpedoes. I'm really hoping that these 6 kilometer range torpedoes will have more range. I want there to be an upgrade that gives it to like 7 or 8, please. Maybe speed, just something. 6 kilometer, 53 knot torpedoes is not a very impressive stat. And it reloads at 53 seconds. That seems incredibly long for tier 2. And you'll see why in a second. But we've got damage control, smoke generator, and then engine boost. Let's move on to the tier 3. At tier 3, we've got Valkyrie. A great name for a ship. Honestly, a great name, period. This looks very British American. It very, very recognizable. It still uses 102 millimeter guns, as you can see. The range of the guns is 10.7, and honestly, you're not really going to reach out much further. The thing with the British is their guns have a lot of drag. I believe that's the case. So even if they have good gun velocity, they just take a long time to get to the target. That's what you have to deal with the Gallant, that's what you have to deal with the Cossack, and that's what I'm going to assume you have to deal with the British DDs. But they also have the best concealment or second best DD concealment in the game, so their operating ranges are going to be very tight. Between 6 kilometers and 10 kilometers is where they really like to be. You'll notice the torpedo systems, 2x2, 533 millimeter, 6 kilometer, 53. Yeah, it's the same exact system. It does reload faster at 41 seconds. The concealment of the ship is much worse at 6.3, but still, if you invested in a commander, and I don't know why you would at tier 3, but if you invested into a concealment commander for whatever reason, you could make sure that the base torpedo range, if it doesn't change, you can still stealth fire with your torpedoes, and that's pretty cool. It uses damage control, smoke generator. Once again, the smoke has a large radius, and then engine boost. Speed isn't that impressive at 34 knots. Turn radius, it's short. That's British. They're going to have a pretty responsive turn, something American or Japanese in trait. But let's go on. Tier 4, we have Wakeful. I think that's how you pronounce it, Wakeful. It has 4 120 millimeter guns. Oh yes. These guns have a very high fire chance, 9% by default. Wow. I think they felt like they needed to buff it because the Gallant is 8, the Cossack is 8, and these are 9. The HE does 1700, AP 2200. Reload is 8 seconds though. It is an early tier ship. It's tier 4. Let's expand it. Very accurate guns, 2.0. That's the thing. British feel very accurate. They punch. Their guns punch. It just takes forever to get there. Once again, the same torpedo setup. The only difference is instead of 2x2, it's 2x3. 6 kilometer range, 53 knots, 1.1 detectability. It's getting long in the tooth, though. It really is getting long in the tooth. Same sort of concealment as the Tier 3. We've got 6.3 kilometer surface detectability, which can be improved to, something like 5.4-ish. 5.4, 5.5. That's my guess is where it would be, which is outstanding, obviously, from a purely concealment standpoint. Plus, early tier, you don't have to worry about radar. So this is actually a good stat. Getting close to the target, you won't be punished with radar. But you still are using those torpedoes, and I still don't know about those torpedoes. It's kind of frustrating. You have the single launch ability. You got damage control, smoke generator, 600 meters, engine boost. Nothing really spectacular. Nothing unique yet. At Tier 5, we Acosta. Tier 5 uses the 4 120mm guns. The rate of fire increases to improves to 5 seconds. The damage per shot goes up. Actually, it goes down. It stays the same. It goes down on AP. It stays the same on HE. 8% fire. Range of the guns extends out a little bit. Honestly, you're just not going to be very successful, at least based on what I see with the British guns on the premiums that are available right now. You're really going to be pushing it at 11 kilometers trying to hit a target that isn't a battleship. Same torpedo systems. They actually increase the detectability a little bit to 1.2, but it's 2x4 instead of 2x3. Speed's the same. Surface detectability is slightly worse at 6.8, but you can still out-conceal the base torpedoes. Gosh, I hope they upgrade the torpedo. It's getting a little bit faster at 59 knots, but it's still 6 kilometers. I really hope there's like an 8-kilometer torpedo or 7, something. We still have damage control, smoke generator, 600 meters, engine boost, the works. There's nothing really outstanding shift in power here. At Tier 6, though, we start seeing something different. At Tier 6, we've got the Icarus. Great name. I love you, Brits. You got a great name. 4 120mm, same reload, 5 seconds. Range of the guns, 11.6. As I said before, probably not going to really have a lot of success at that range. 8% chance of fire. The torpedoes are now 2x5. So you got 10 533mm, but it's still 6 kilometer range, 59 knots. Reload 133 seconds. At Tier 6, it's going to be a chore to use our torpedoes, I think. It's really weird. I think they're going to be primarily gun focused. Very accurate guns. They punch above their weight class for sure. But I'm just worried about these torpedo systems. Like a close-in concealed DD with mediocre torpedoes. That doesn't really sound attractive. I'm hoping that something's better. Surface detectability, still 6.8 kilometers, so you still will be able to conceal your way to use these torpedoes if there's no range increase, and I would be so disappointed if there wasn't. Still have damage control, still using that smoke generator with 600 meters, but at slot 3, you now have a choice between engine boost or hydroacoustic. And this hydroacoustic is honestly not that impressive range-wise. 1.9 kilometer torpedo detection. That's almost the same as some torpedoes will be sent at you, like you won't gain any benefit. Ship detection is 2.73, and the auto detection I think is 2 by default, and 2.5 with target acquisition rate, or 2.5. Either way, it's very minor, the range increase, but the duration, 180 seconds. 3 minutes it lasts for. So I was talking with the stream, maybe this could be used for, playing in your own smoke because it could be so large, but it's really not long enough to help others around you to spot for them. So it'll be very interesting to see how many people choose engine boost versus hydroacoustic. I'll be absolutely fascinated to try all that out. This is all we have for now. I can't wait for tier 7, 8, 9, and 10. I hope this was enjoyable, and I hope we get to see a little bit more. I can't wait to play these. It sounds like they want to get these out August, September range, so we'll see. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. And let me know what you think. Take care. See ya.